Today we're making low sodium cabbage rolls, and I will show you some pictures of the products that I am using to make the low sodium cabbage rolls. Ahead a little bit on my recipe, so I'm just going to kind of back it up and explain what I did. This is the cabbage that I have boiled. Before you boil it, you have to cut out the core so that the leaves separate from the cabbage. Don't add any salt or anything to this, guys. This is a low sodium recipe. Over here you will see that I have pre-chopped up mushrooms and onions, just one whole onions, and about, for me, I did about 5 or 6 portobello mushrooms, and then sauteed them in a little bit of light oil. I'm always on the hunt for low sodium anything for the recipe, and you could take tomatoes and blend them up yourself and use it for your topping before you put it in. Or you can buy a tomato paste from True Goodness. It's organic, of course. Not all organic stuff is good for you, by the way, but this one is. Its sodium is at 20 milligrams at 1%, and I can add water to that because it's concentrated. And that's the way that I prefer to do it with this recipe. It has a more tomatoey flavor. And of course you want to have a pan ready. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you like garlic, you can add garlic. It's definitely really good for the arteries, and it's definitely really good for blood pressure. But you can add garlic however you want. Fresh garlic, pre-chopped garlic. Yeah, anyways. So you can notice out of the pot, I've already taken the cabbage out. You can usually use a spatula or 2 of these tong thingies, and just a lot of water is going to come with it. Some people put it on a sheet. I put it in a bowl. And then it will also sit there and cool. Please don't try and attempt to pull off your pieces while it's really hot. You will burn yourself. This also should cool. You could put this in a, a bowl or something. It'll cool faster. And if you haven't already, you should have at least 2 pounds, close to 3 pounds of meat in a bag. Well, it doesn't have to be in the bag. You can just pick it up from a grocery store. I have it in a bag and I've de-thawed mine. But it should be de-thawed. No need to cook it at this point, like the mushrooms and garlic and the onions. That will be included raw and then baked. I'll show you how they're put together. Excuse me, sorry. Going back to the cabbage, I have it flipped over, obviously, so that I could get to the layers better. Don't be in a hurry to throw away the cabbage juice. And that's because you will be using some of that later with this paste to kind of make your little pour-over soup. Also, it takes practice to be able to get this boiled down properly to the leaves. Maybe sometimes it looks good on the outside, but the core inside is not cooked enough to where you can use it for folding in everything. So then you'd have to put it back in there. So just keep that around. Don't be in a hurry to just pick everything up and put it away as you're going along. This you have to leave out for those reasons. Alright, so I don't like to have a lot of extra bowls around. You could take this out and have it in a bowl, or keep this here, but you can add your 3/4 cup rice in with that. Some people are not big fans of parsley. I don't mind parsley, but instead of parsley, and just to give it a little bit more flavor, and because I know it's sodium free, I use the Mrs. Dash, it's over here, garlic and herb, salt free, and I use a tablespoon of that, and I put that in there. I know it's there you go. And it eliminates 2 things at once. It gives you the seasoning, and it bypasses the need for salt. You can also get something that is called no salt, but most people are not the fan, or none salt, are not a fan of this. My family is not a fan of it. I use it, they're not a fan of it, so I'm not including it. And last but not least, on here, as far as this goes, you want to include lots of pepper. Okay, well, if you like pepper, it helps to bring out the flavor. So then you want to mix that together. I had to do a correction. So yeah, the recipe calls for it's about 1 pound. I have about a pound and a half or somewhere around there that I'm going to be mixing into here. Okay, so now we have that rice, the mushrooms, the garlic, the onions, the seasoning, the Mrs. Dash seasoning in there, the pepper. We have that all mixed in, and then next would come the tomato paste. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so back to the tomato paste. My can opener broke. We had to really do a hack job on this. Oh my goodness. I guess, yeah. Anyways, and use a spoon to put it into my cup here, and it's, you know, a little bit less than a cup's worth. So what I do is, and because it's a paste, you just add a little bit of water. Also, because it helps it mix a little bit better with your meat and your rice and everything, just add a little bit of water, break it up, you know, so it's a little bit more looser. And then, you know, once you have it, you know, around a cup's worth there, then you put it into the hamburger meat mixture. And, oh, there goes the oven. Okay, the oven is you want to preheat your oven too, by the way. Anyways, sorry. There you go. You got your blob on there, and then you're just gonna mix that in. I'll get back to you after it's mixed in. Okay, so the cabbage, you know, it's been cooling here for a while. You can pull from the sides or the top, you know, but either way, you know, you're going to have to be as careful as you can trying to get these leaves. And then you can see I've blended in the tomato paste into the mixture. So you just want to grab a little bit, and then just like where you see where it was once connected to the core is usually a good spot to start. And you, in a pan over here, you should be able to fit about 16 of these. Okay, here comes the folding. So you just fold it in like this, tuck in the sides like that, and then just roll your cabbage. You can put a little more or a little less, you know. I don't like to overfill. So I have another one that's set aside here, you know. Some people like, you know, you pick out your best ones. The really crappy ones, don't throw them away. Those will actually go on the top for protecting the cabbage later. So I can flip it this way a little bit. And then, you know, nobody's perfect. I didn't go to school for this, you know. I try to put it in there the best I can. Here, these are really good for sauteing them up in the morning with a little bit of oil or butter. Ooh, that one came off nice. Okay, so this is a really good example of how you want to get it. And you roll it up and fold it. Actually, sorry, got ahead of myself. Fold the sides in, and then roll it up. And then I will get back to you when I have that filled. So there are a couple of different ways to handle the juice that goes over the top of this. You can use a 1/4 cup of the cabbage juice. One way or the other, it needs a type of juice. So I use the cabbage water and, again, another one of my little containers of my tomato paste, and then mixed it up. And then what it is I pour, you know, or spoon it out over to the top. I'm going to do this real quick. Try to get all of it as much as you can. I heard, you know, we're sour cream lovers. These taste really good when you take them out the next day and then you brown them and then you put some sour cream on them. They're just really, really delicious if you're a sour cream lover. Okay, so we've got the tomato paste poured over the top. And then I think it just needs a little bit more juice. So I'm going to pour just a little bit more over the, over the top. Just to loosen it up a little bit more. Not too much, just a little bit. The train is coming by, excuse me for that. Okay, so we've got that. And then your leftover pieces of your cabbage to kind of protect it. You can also, you know, eat it too if you wanted to. On top, you have a little bit of this bundle that's left here. And it has to cover the whole, you know, try to cover the whole thing. To get it baked really good, you have to bake it at, get this core out right here. Almost a little bit on top here. Okay, so that's pretty covered. Yeah, you have to bake it at 350, but hang on. Before you do that, and I've got juice going down here. I'm going to have to wipe that up. Cover it with tinfoil. Okay. And there we go. So, cover. Next, you will bake this, like I said, at 350. Oven, and it has to cook for an hour and a half. I'll show you the results after that hour and a half. The sauce drippage, but it's been an hour and 30 minutes, and we're going to pull it out. Okay, we've pulled it out, and this is about what it should look like. Just move some of that cabbage aside. Go in and scoop some out. There's a little bit of that sauce on there. And there you go. You have cabbage rolls. Maybe cut it to show you what the inside looks like. That's what the inside looks like. It's all pretty. Please, please, if you liked this low sodium dish,